Hi everybody, welcome again to another Yoga with Carrie. Today we're doing something a little different, and I'm going to go through sun salutations. And I'm focusing on talking to beginners right now. And I was thinking about it and I was like, I know how that feels to go into your first ever class and someone's like, yeah, now we're going to go into sun salutations. You're like, what the heck are you talking about? And I know what it feels like. So today we're going to go through the whole sequence and I'm going to explain it all, give you some tips on your first yoga class as well, just to help you out. So sun salutations is a sequence that you do at the beginning of each class after you've done your breathing and your cat-cow pose and everything. So sun salutations is a warm-up. This is the same sequence repeated as many times as the teacher says to do it. She'll obviously go through it with you, but sometimes the teacher can assume that you know what you're doing and all that stuff. So I'm just going to go through the technique, the proper technique of each sun salutation. So there's sun A and sun B. And sun B is just an add-on to sun A. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off. You can follow this through, you can watch and you're like, yeah, okay, I know what she's doing. Now I feel comfortable doing it in my own class when I go. So we are going to start off standing up, how everyone starts. You're going to come to your top of your mat. And this can be with your feet hip distance apart or together. You can come together when you're a little bit warmer. That's what the teacher normally says. So how you start off is Tadasana, in Tadasana. So your hands are facing forward. You tuck in the tailbone, tuck in the ribs as well. Don't let them shine forward. Engage the core. Everything is engaged through the what are these called? Your quads. Oh my goodness, I am useless. So your quads are engaged. Feel each part of your foot. And we inhale, reach up. Extend out the body and then exhale, fold yourself down. Bend the knees, so much so that your stomach is able to fall onto it. You don't want to just try and touch the ground with your legs out extended. You just want to feel comfortable in the pose. So that's forward fold. We're going to come into halfway lift. So bring the hands to the shins as you extend out the legs and extend out the spine. Eyes look up. Again, if this is uncomfortable, bend the knees. You can bend the knees, you can make it easier or harder for you as you want it to make it. And as I said, it's a warm-up, so keep that in mind. You're obviously not going to be as flexible as you're going to be. So exhale, fold yourself down again. Knees are bent, stomach on thighs. And then plant the hands. This is really important because your hands are your stable base. So you have to spread those fingers as far as you can, keeping them both in line. Middle fingers facing forward as you step back into plank pose. This can be difficult if you've never done this before, so you don't want hips up, hips too low. You try and get as straight as spine as you can, everything in line. Here we're going to come into upward facing dog. If you're a beginner, always drop the knees, untuck the toes, and it's going to be called knee, chest, chin. So your knees hit the ground first, push the elbows to the back, chest comes down to the ground, then the chin, slide it forward, roll the shoulders back, baby cobra. Push the tops of the feet into the floor, engage the core. Don't lift up too much, just as much as is comfortable. And then exhale, roll on back to the knees, tuck the toes, and I'm sure you've all heard this before, we come into down dog. So lift up those hips as high as you can. So here, down dog is an important posture because you come into it so many times throughout the class. So you kind of want to have the best technique so you don't hurt yourself. So starting from the hands, spreading those fingers wide, elbows, face them out sideways, and then tuck them to the back. So that makes you feel like your shoulder blades are going away from each other, dropping the ears away from the shoulders away from the ears, and the elbows are facing the back. If you're not so flexible in the back of your legs, bend those knees. Totally fine. And the heels, they don't have to meet the mat. If you're struggling, just lift up a little bit so you're not just getting the stretch in the back and the back of the knees. You don't want to over push yourself. The teacher may say a couple of breaths here, and then she'll say step to the front of your mat. So you're trying to bring the feet as close to the hands as possible. Feet are together, and we're halfway lifting. So hands on the shins again, eyes look up, exhale, bend those knees, stomach meets thighs, eyes look down, drop that head. And then we inhale, straight spine. Exhale, hands come to heart. So I'm already feeling warm. So that's what it's supposed to be in a yoga class. You're just warming up the body because you do not want to be, you don't want to hurt yourself throughout the workout, throughout the class. So what that is doing is just warming up each of your muscles so that you're warm enough to be able to get into those harder postures. You may do a couple sun A's, or you may do a couple sun B's, or you could put them together. So sun B's is sun salutations. I just shortened that down a little bit. So it's kind of the same idea, but it's just a little bit different. You want your big toes touching and your heels slightly apart. We're coming into chair pose. So reach those arms down and we sweep them down as far as you can go. The idea, maybe you can sweep them down to the floor. I can't really make it there yet. But you just want to drop that bum. You want to see the toes in front of the knees. Rolling the shoulder back, eyes look up. We can sweep those arms up as well. So tuck in the tailbone. So at the moment, I'm splaying out my bum. You just want to slight tuck it in. So you're squeezing your bum cheeks as well. And then we lift up and fold down to forward fold. Again, bend the knees. I always have to remember that. I always like to push myself too much. But you just have to be gentle with yourself. Inhale, halfway lift. We've done this before. So the start of sun salutation B is kind of the same as sun A. As we exhale, splay those fingers, step back, plank pose. So you can either go back to the knee, chest, chin, or you can make your way so your elbows are facing the back and make your way slowly all the way down to the floor. Untuck the toes and roll up. Again, we're still in baby cobra, not cobra pose. No, up dog. What am I talking about? Exhale, push through the knees, down dog. So this is where it gets a little bit different. And remember this positioning of the down dog to wrap those the elbows to the back of the room. And then we're going to step the right foot forward in between the hands. This back foot has its heel up. We want to drop the heel, but we want to drop the heel so the foot is facing a 45-degree angle. So if you're in a room, you want your toes facing the left corner. And if you look down, you want to have heels matching. They want to be in a straight line. As we inhale up, this is warrior one. You come through these poses quite a lot throughout the class as well. So you want to push that right hip back, left hip forward, so the hips are facing the front. Bend that knee, exhale down. Spread the fingers, step that foot back. And another way to do this up dog again is coming so you're in chaturanga. So elbows face the back. We slowly lower down so our elbows and our shoulders we're in a 90-degree angle. Not all the way down, just comfortable. And then untuck the toes, engage the legs, knees are off the ground, up dog. Exhale, down dog. And we just repeat the same thing on the left leg. So left foot in between the hands, drop that heel 45, make sure they're in line. We inhale up, hips are square, drop the shoulders away from the ears. So we don't want all the way up here. Have some space. You want to be able to hear, you want to be able to feel comfortable. As we exhale down, step it on back, and you can just do the sequence to up dog, whatever is good for you at that stage. Again, we're in down dog. Couple of deep breaths here, and then she'll ask you to step to the front of the mat. She or he, doesn't matter. We exhale down, inhale, halfway lift, and then reach up to hands to heart. Beautiful. So that's what going through Sun Salutation A and Sun Salutation will be. Sun Salutation B. And I also thought I'd do a few tips on how to go to your first class, because I know how nervous I got, because I was like, oh my goodness, am I going to be really bad at this? I don't know what I'm doing. Like, what do I bring? What do I do? So I just thought I would say a few things just to make it a little bit easier for you, because I wish I had that also. Well, I wish someone did that for me. So to love that first class, you have to find the right style. You don't want to go to a class and it be high intensity yoga, or you go to a class and it's yin yoga, which is really relaxing, meditating, and you're like, oh, I didn't sign up for this, I thought this was supposed to be high intensity. So look up on Wikipedia. Seriously, that's what I did. It just tells you exactly what each style is, and then when you look for classes, look for that style of classes. So lots of people go to vinyasa classes as their first class, because this is all levels. The teacher will give you lots of options to make it easier or harder for you, and it's nice and flowing, lots of fun, nothing too strenuous as well. Also, you can go to a yin class. I would recommend this if you were pregnant, if you are right a beginner and you just want to ease into it. So that's really good as well. The second tip is find a good teacher. So I was lucky enough to find the best teacher on my first go, and I'm really bad now because I don't want to go to anybody else, but I went to lots of classes in Asia actually, and I found some really good teachers that I took lots of tips off. I just really enjoyed myself. But on the other hand, I found some not so good teachers. So it's a preference for you. So you just go around. Don't stick with one person because they couldn't be, well, if you like that person, stay with them. But if you don't worry, just find the best teacher for you. So go around, dabble in a few classes, and then pick your best one at the end. With things to bring for your first class, don't worry about a mat. It's probably supplied for you. also a drink bottle, because if you go to a Vinyasa class, you always want to stay hydrated. Oh, in all classes actually, stay hydrated. You don't want to get through the middle of the class and be like, oh my god, I'm so thirsty, I hate this. So, because you'll obviously sweat as well, because I just love sweating. I still sweat, everyone still sweats, just get into it, it's good. And the last tip, and the most important, is to bring a good attitude. This is so important because I see people when I'm teaching that I get so angry at themselves for not being able to get into a pose and they just give up. So what you need to do is go in with the intention of not worrying about what anybody else thinks, being gentle with yourself, knowing that this is your first time, and then just being able to fall in love with the process of getting better. Because if you push yourself too much, then that's where injuries occur, and you do not want an injury. So I hope this tutorial and tips helped you out just a little bit, made you feel a little bit more comfortable with going to your first class, and yeah, I hope it goes well for you.